afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of the Reich, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 versus 1 on Arnhem checkpoint. We've got here in the south, Breadmarshliveplace, fighting here for the United States of America, for the 2nd Armored Division, with Airborne, Heavy Cavalry, and Rifle Company. A lot of infantry there, versus in the north, Gentlefox. Most gentler foxes fighting for the Wehrmacht with an immediate choice of defensive doctrine. Wow. With 2 Austrian bulletins and a scout car bulletin, he's gone for double pioneers and an MG42. Looks like we got a bit of a Gentlefox starter there. Been some time since I've seen him do that. But 2 rifles there, Breadmarsh in the hand, going for a more standard start, whereas Gentlefox is initiating to grab as much territory as it can, follow up with MG42's hold, set up points that way, so slowly deal with Breadmarshliveplace this way, while he then of course takes up, goes for Panzer Grenadier, scout cars, and who knows what else. Going eastwards there, but also noting here he's crossing for the centre, trying to set up the battlefield there to his advantage. Barbed wire being rapidly laid down there by the rear echelons. Wondering why they're the ones that have to do that. Not someone with more training in that department. Another MG42 there arriving for Gentlefox. Moving towards the east, got there, and might actually rushing it. He's actually sort of trying to scout ahead, try to figure out what Gentlefox is doing, try to throw him off. Because that's definitely a bit of a curious start there with his rear echelons. Usually you don't see them being played that aggressively, but they're going getting the pioneers, they're going into the building, though with only one window to respond from. The pioneers should have the advantage. Pioneers moving up, they got the MG42 and second one on the way as well. And third rifle's gone away there for Breadmarsh, almost got the fuel point and the cut off, and there you go, he's actually sneaking behind, he's harassing, he's hoping to deny Gentlefox a lot of resources there in the early game, so that's a very bold move there, using his rear echelons, but not a bad idea. And we got the MG42 setting up here. Can sort of control the cut-off point and sort of bit here around as well, though he might want to consider some barbed wire to make it harder to rush, since there's particularly here a bit of a blind spot where someone could be close enough with grenades. But there you go, going for the cut-off point. We got the M42 setting up, and oh dear, suppressed there. Already Jack goes down a hail of bullets, and there you go, pinned down to the ground like insects. Nowhere to go, nowhere to move. And quickly sent running there, but still a bold attempt there by Breadmarshliveplace to throw off his opponent, but he probably wasn't expecting another MG42 there. But Gentlefox again has sort of been a bit of that thing there, though he seemed to briefly go back to the Grenadiers. He seems to be sort of heading back here towards the Pioneer MG42 again. Third Pioneer's on the way. I imagine he will take up afterwards. And there go again here, but we got the MG42 again more operating here behind enemy line, or not behind enemy lines, behind his own lines, ready to deal with the harassment, the flanking there from Breadmarsh. Overall, in that sense, Breadmarsh's initial tactic and strategy seems to be try to avoid any sort of decisive engagement, instead keep the opponent running around, guessing there, trying to defend his weak spots, while then sort of pushes the front with other units. So that's actually a pretty interesting sort of tactic and strategy, and overall a pretty solid one, I think. Though versus more MG42s, it does run into a few troubles, but few Wehrmacht players actually go for that many MG42s like Gentlefox does. So, I mean, it's actually a surprisingly safe one in certain senses. Got the Like to Make a Nice Company going up there for Gentlefox. Rather than tanking it. A bit of bad move. We actually got very early grenades against the MG42. Pineapple grenade launched, and there we go. Didn't do too much until got the MG42 running. Overall there, Gentlefox is a bit defensive. I imagine he wasn't quite expecting this kind of opening and this kind of sort of play there from American. He was probably hoping for him just being engaged here, try to push for his field cut off, bleed him down with the MG42s, but instead Breadmarsh is taking some slightly longer circuitous road, but also sometimes threatening, just sort of kept up the harassment, kept up, the territorial and economic bleed that way in a bold maneuver there. Rifle moving up there, the same variations here, caught by the MG42 getting suppressed. We got a 2-2 on the way there for Gentlefox. He does have a bullet in there for increased accuracy, 4% actually, which isn't really huge, but might still have a slight effect there, since it does fire a lot there. Going for the western point, 2-2 almost done. Pioneers moving about, Pioneers moving up here as well. We've got flying rifles on the way there for Gentlefox. Rear echelons hanging about.
God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
Slow. Breadmarsh is going here for the lieutenant. Could follow up with an M20, 50 calibers, half tracks, plenty of options there. But we've got the 222, the lighter puncher Speerwagen arriving there for Gentlefox für Deutschland. I have actually named the division there, have I? Well then, it shall be the Sperrverbannte Spindler. Pioneers then moving about, going westwards. He's trying to defend, but again he's struggling a bit. Overall, again Breadmarsh is very much, he's trying to avoid sort of really engaging Gentlefox head on. He's trying to avoid sort of decisive engagement in that way, which again is something a lot of American players like to do. Breadmarsh is sort of trying to force Gentlefox to constantly have to react to his own moves, and that way set up sort of positions that might benefit him a bit more. And there we go, Mansfield at the point neutral before retreating. Ambulance on the way there for Breadmarsh, and he has cancelled the return instead here, probably in response to the 2-2. Going for the captain instead. He might in fact be a bit unsure how to sort of specifically deal with what Gentlefox is going for. Meanwhile, moving there for the cut-off point. Gentlefox, of course, is trying to establish a belt. He's trying to limit Breadmarsh's ability to sort of move about like he wants to, so they got MD42s in sort of decisive points. Using Pioneers, he might consider laying down some mines, and he's also going for more scout cars, that way adding a sort of mobile element, meaning basically he's got a sort of series of points here, strong points, and he's then using Pioneers and 2-2 to sort of react to any movement between these points, or for something on the right flank. So quite clearly here, Gentlefox has got a sort of very interesting strategy going on there, and he's using also defense to sort of further augmented. Could use trenches, tank traps, hold down, pack for the fleets, and even a bit of sector artillery. That's been ages since we've seen that ability in use, to be honest. So there's certainly a few options there for Gentlefox as well. He certainly keeps going for something new half the time. Meanwhile, nothing further up here, and for Breadmarsh, captain has arrived. Could go for an anti-tank gun, could go for a pack howitzer. That would certainly be one way of dealing with this, besides rifling grenades and all that. He might also play for the steward light tank, and there we go. Smokescreen against the 2-2, knocking out his gun at least temporarily by blinding it. Very good work there. Cheeky move there by Breadmarsh. Rarely seen yet, but you can actually use smoke grenades from the rifle grenades to actually blind the vehicle temporarily, like that. Rifle moving up, incoming off the MD42, got Pioneers and the 2-2 ready to support the machine and gewehr here. Rifle advancing, trying to push through here the Speerverbande with support from over part of the second armoured. Needs to have the Pioneers deal with it. He's still trying to repair the while under fire. Careful there, Gentlefox, 4-6. And there you go, Rifle push back here by Pioneers and 2-2, though heavily damaged to retreat. Captain moving head into the Pioneers, Flammenwerfers and MP40s. And there we go, regular Panzergrenadiers sent in to support the Speerverbande from the 15th Panzergrenadier Division, supporting it, providing a bit of sort of armed power. Speerverbande was usually sort of put together from whatever was well at hand to sort of hold a position or an area. In fact, during Operation Market Garden, there was an incredible large amount of Speerverbande, and they were basically operating around, for example, Arnhem, but also Nijmegen and other areas. Just sort of units put together from all sorts of things.
Our supply line's cut. Germans are making a push. A capture point is under attack.
Pioneers moving up there, we got reassurance and rifle moving for the south. Breadmarsh still yet to go for Doctor, but he's calling up pack howitzers and an anti-tank gun. Pack howitzers, of course, to deal with the sort of more static elements. The anti-tank gun to deal with the scout cars and what else Gentlefox might be bringing up. You've got more Panzergrenadiers there rhyming for Gentlefox, adding more anti-infantry, just bringing up the infantry now. Captain getting shredded by their assault rifles, the Sturmgewehrs making short work of them. Pioneers push back here by riflemen and rear echelons. And we got the 2-2 here opening up, closing in for the kill, going almost for the wipe there, MD42 supporting as well. Panzergrenadiers seeing the rifleman running. Almost got the captain there, almost got a wipe, almost got a wipe. And Reaction Delta push back. 2-2 moving up, almost. Can he get the wipe there? That would be pretty bold. Also ambulance abandoned just in case you can actually save the medics. Bazooka shots there. Bazooka dropped, in fact. Could actually spread them out, allowing the capture a bit more anti-infantry. But there you go. Putting back the 2-2. Large getting away with it. Oh, pack out to shoot, he doesn't. Oh, the pack howitzer gets a 2-2-2. Gentlefox stuck around for a bit too long there. And a Panzergrenadier squad got lost as well. Huge losses here for Gentlefox and the Speerverbande Spindler. Panzergrenadier unit wiped out with a pineapple grenade. Nicely thrown there with Breadmarsh. MD42 opening up there, firing straight through the front of the cafe. And 2-2 setting in there, we got more Pioneers for support. Any tech there from Gentlefox, or perhaps more Panzergrenadier. More infantry for certainly make up for things. We got the anti-tank covering the centre. Some bold action here from both sides. And they go, rifle engaging the 2-2-2, pack 40 on the way there for Gentlefox, where we got any armoured vehicles by the looks of it. And there we go, Panzergrenadier flanking in with the Sturmgewehrs, opening up there on the rears of the rifle. But from this distance, they aren't quite going to have an effect. They pretty much perform best sort of mid-range. Short range, depending on the unit, can also perform quite well, but they are more of a mid-range unit, the Panzergrenadier. And there we go, in 10 rounds, nicely timed here, catch the captain out in the open. cutting through them, but not quite managing to do a lot of damage or suppressing them, but still ending up with some damage. Almost ready to already. Inside, it's no longer quite as safe there. Got the pack out firing in. And Pioneers Panzergrenadiers moving up the eastern flank, there to also supporting. Gentlefox is getting a nice bit of map control there from Breadmarsh. Overall, still maintaining most of it. Though he's perhaps finding himself struggling a bit more here as Breadmarsh sort of brings up more equipment. There we go, almost got the other 222. Another hit there from the 6-pounder gun, and it could be. Yes, good night, 222. Schwerer, oh, like to punch Speerwagen, kaputt. Kaputt! And there we go, using the capsules with me to drive the rifle quickly out of the range of the Panzergrenadiers and the Pioneers. Over to here, he's actually trying to sort of forward point here with the ambulance. Need to pull it back though. Very bold here again, very aggressive. Breadmarsh sort of trying to get up the tempo, but in this case, didn't quite work out. Panzergrenadiers filled with more lead than was probably healthy. Pioneers, Panzer opening up their ears into a bit of assault rifle supporting. Pioneers set running, and we got a Steward light tank on the way there for Breadmarsh. Pack out to firing straight after the Panzergrenadiers. Blows up a table for 2. And there we go, incendiary rounds again flying out from that northern house into the church, threatening to light the entire thing, including the altar, on fire. But again, managed to knife Breadmarsh fuel there. Good work by Gentlefox. Breadmarsh here might get a bit too focused on trying to push through the centre theory, trying to control the eastern side and more particularly access to his own fuel point. But soon with the Steward light tank on the way, he should have a bit more method to pressure Gentlefox with. Gentlefox taking up here, going for tier 3. Good. And we got a doctrine from Breadmarsh. It is airborne. 82nd Airborne called into support here. The 2nd Armour to break through the Sperrverbande, blocking the way to the Hürtgen Forest or something like that. Let's just imagine that's how it goes. Bunker up here for Gentlefox as well. He's going to use both Pioneer Squads here to quickly and rapidly set up the Suprema Corps. The more units will have building cores, the faster it goes, and also the fewer members in a Pioneer Squad, the slower it actually goes as well. Same applies for repairs. There it goes, zooming up and getting the Pioneer Squad here, opening up with its coaxial machine gun and its 37mm gun. Usually they would also have a pindle mounted 30 caliber on top as well. So sort of a bit of added infantry, or anti-infantry firepower. Suprema Corps going up there for Gentlefox. Troops reinforcing. Another ambulance on the way there for Breadmarsh, obviously. Also going here, sneaking in there, trying to avoid the infantry for the time being. Of course, you could try and hit it with smoke and grenades. Again, right here, there's a bit of a blind spot thanks to the trees and such. We could creep up, maybe smoke it, then run further up and sort of grenade it. Gentlefox not going for additional Panzergrenadier, but then again, you might be seeing up manpower for something here, and if you're guessing it, it might actually be the Austrian, since he's actually got 2 bulletins for increased suppression. Stuart there moving about, waiting a bit, enjoying the scenery, having perhaps himself a nice spot of coffee and some nice American chocolates. Much then we have the German soldier and the British soldier. In fact, most soldiers who weren't Americans envied the American soldier because he had such an abundance of things towards him. Of course, the American soldier didn't think much of it. In fact, the American soldier had the tendency of just throwing away their stuff, which actually led to problems when they also began just discarding their rifles during longer marches, because they couldn't be asked to carry them and knew they could just get them replaced. There go another pineapple grenade. Oh! Right here, it's actually trying to bait them in. They're interested in pursuing him, doing retreat and sort of catching him that way. Not bad, not bad. Panzergrenadier veteran too. Good, good. Riflemen, re-echelons moving up. We got the Steward flanking in here as well from the eastern part of the town. Pioneers spewing out fire from the church like hellfire. And pack following up with the Stewards still need to fall back. And Panzergrenadiers then tearing up through the centre here. Riflemen forced to fall back here to the presence of flamethrowers and other things, allowing the Panzergrenadiers to get close. But there we go. Granate. Los Helmut. And there we go. Low on health, but managed to get away. Stewart pulling back, and we got the first Austrian there on the way for Gentlefox. Packard rolling a bit back, anti-tank growing points here in the west, and he's actually shifted his MD-42 here a bit. Interesting move, perhaps to avoid getting back out easily, or perhaps there's another consideration here for Gentlefox in the shifting of the MG-42. Meanwhile, one covering the centre, Gentlefox, he's actually got a lot of munitions. I think he should consider some mines here, Teller mines, S mines. I mean, considering the strategy he's running and laying down mines between the points, well, the MG points, would also be a good idea. And there we go, we do have the mines there, the S-Minen, Sprengminen. Of course, there's also the other S-Mine, the Schützenminen. Go. Flak Panzer arriving. reinforcing as well. The Germans did have a large variety of mines, and of course the war progressed more sort of designed towards being hard to detect, being made out of glass. Largely, in fact, they have still a bunch of those around here and there. In fact, I believe there's still some around the Danish western coast as well. Austrian moving up, Pioneers moving ahead as well, Raven flanking in. Raven under 5, he got the cut for the cough point, Pack 4 getting caught. And he's actually going for a second Stuart now. This is rare as well. Someone actually going for more than one light tank at any point in time. I mean, he does give some advantages, though. There's an opponent with sort of tier 3, it's a bit risky. He's going to, I think, need some more anti-tank them to support them, or at least bazookas. But still, 2 light tanks can actually be sort of having some effects there. And particularly then sort of, you know, join up shell shocks to sort of just really stun lock the vehicle for some period of time. That's going to be interesting to see how Breadmarsh is going to make use of his 2 light tanks again. Very rare sight, very rare sight. That's exciting. Lots of fighting here. Osman there moving about in the centre, getting blasted by the pack carriage, trying as much as possible to avoid getting hit. And a tank needs to be turned there, goes through taking hits as well. Rear armour exposed, only making it easier for the Osman to shoot through. And there he goes, clearing out some of the mines. Meanin'. And we got Panzer selection on the way there for the Panzer Grenadiers. Rather got the impression as you move into the church, despite there being a tank nearby. So it seems like he's gone to bank on his Austrians now for primary infantry and infantry alongside the Pioneers, and leave the Panzer Grenadiers for Panzerjäger duties. Breadmarsh there calling up the first bit of the 82nd Airborne. Paratroops called in from the north, or above. Also, one thing to keep in mind about paratroopers, as the war progressed, they were primarily serving as, well, infantry divisions. They really weren't airdropped much about after a certain point, which was pretty much the fate of all the airborne units in the Second World War after a certain point. The German ones obviously for Führer-related reasons, Russian ones, Hungarian ones, British ones, the list goes on really. Getting them something seems to get caught by the Flak Panzer's 30cm high explosive rounds. Meanwhile, Stuart moving up into support, really sort of sweeping in from here and there. He's never sort of really just trying to break through, just hammer his way through. He's always looking for a weak spot to sort of try and hit Gentlefox from. That's actually quite nice to see there. Very nice, very sort of fluid, and I think good understanding of American gameplay there from Breadmarsh. Paratroopers are caught though, a bit unsupported. I do think Breadmarsh should consider perhaps some bazooka upgrades to assist here and there, at least on the re-echelons and such. They're halt by the MD-42. Pack 4 almost being cleared out. But really some good advances there from Breadmarsh. Good advances. Got the west, east still somewhat under control, but also doing a lot of damage there to Gentlefox, who's over a bit on the defensive here. So, time for the mid-game analysis. In terms of damage, Gentlefox is hit. In terms of kills, also hit, but it's a much smaller lead there. So that's a bit good there for Breadmarsh. Bit good there. In terms of army value, I mean, Breadmarsh is clearly ahead. He's been able to preserve his unit a bit better, got some kills in there several times. He's also got a bit more armor in certain sense. I mean, the Austrian can in theory deal with these Stuart, but versus 2 Stuarts, it's going to struggle a lot more. And if Breadmarsh were to bring in bazookas, I mean, he'd certainly have a better advantage there. I mean, that would largely, I think, negate any kind of armor there that Gentlefox has. In terms of points, though, I mean, Gentlefox has, again, thanks to sort of initial strategy, been able to hold the map quite well, but the losses he suffered there in the early game, which sort of has hurt him a bit, negated it a bit, and allowed sort of Breadmarsh to sort of flourish through and sort of hit there. And he's also, I think, been very quite good to able to sort of somewhat negate, and now he's sort of slowly but surely turning the tables there as well. So things are getting a bit more tricky here for Gentlefox, and he should perhaps consider actually utilising his doctrine a bit more. I mean, I don't think he's actually used it. I mean, some tank traps here and there to make it harder for the Stuarts to utilise the mobility, but perhaps some trenches as well to set up here and there to sort of defend could also work out nicely. Perhaps a Pack 3 to sort of limit American armor movement in an area would also serve him well, and perhaps to hold down, though with all the sort of static weapon, well, support weaponry here, it might not be quite as effective as Gentlefox would hope for, at least for a longer period of time. But he's certainly got some options. I do think some more mines, but of course he might be saving up here for the sector artillery, which, if properly utilised, could devastate Breadmarsh quite a bit. I do think Gentlefox should consider some more regular Panzer Grenadiers, but also some armour that can sort of more directly take the fight to the Stuarts. Either a Stug or a Panzer IV, I think, would do Gentlefox quite a bit of good there. And I actually think he should initially sort of just try to sort of settle down his goals, just again try to hold 2 victory points and a fuel point, and then sort of slowly push towards the 3rd point and fuel point. Sort of similarly again, to sort of use his doctrine, sort of that way augment his well, defensive positions a bit further here. Also try to flank Breadmarsh a bit. I mean, Breadmarsh is really, I think, doing quite a good day in flanking, heading, sneaking through, harassing. Overall, he should really keep up with that. But again, bazookas, I think, would be really, really good there for Breadmarsh. Really good. Not a lot, just a pair of bazookas here and there I think could do well. Or perhaps, tagging up and going for some Shermans as soon as you can would also do well, though throwing in a fuel cache then might be good, a bit of assist. I also think you should try and perhaps occasionally at least work the two Stuarts together for sort of a more focused effect. Could allow them to cut through infantry faster, but also maybe threaten the Ostmen a bit better. So that's a small suggestion there as well for Breadmarsh. But let's return to the fight and see what happens. Panzer taking up position in the northern restaurant of the town, and there he goes, Stuart has to be exposed. Pioneers on the other side, and there we go, Ostman just shooting away, but it is taking damage, and ultimately he's forced to move. There we go, we got the Stuart moving in there, got a penetrating hit in the Ostman. Ostman pulling over towards the restaurant there to get support. Captain flanking, getting the Pack 40, good lord, and could actually get the Ostman there. No, Ostman gets away, get past there. Captain was a bit too slow getting to press it, but MD42, Stuart dealing with it, other Stuart moving up through the north here. MD42 there, being supported by the Panzergunners, almost got a wipe. Captain forced retreat, Stuart pulling back. Other Stuart looks like has given up the ghost, he'll at least not quite decide to pursue. More Panzergrenadier arriving for Gentlefox with every passing moment. And Gentlefox tenuously holds on to the northern part of the village, desperately struggling to prevent the Americans from advancing any further. But we got Rifle there, we got the paratroopers, we got Reactions moving up as well here, pretty much making that very difficult without any machine guns, and both of them are back at base or making their way towards, and there you go, quick taking up position here, and with the paratroopers in such a strong position, we see here that Gentlefox is forced to quickly fall back. And we've got white phosphorus being called down here, really. Breadmarsh is just letting loose with everything he's got on that fence. Yeah, I heard Hitler make that fence, really? Yeah. Really? Still going to need some repairs, seems to it there as well. And Gentlefox is actually going for a second Ostwind. He must be relying on something else than perhaps just feeling confident that with two Stuarts out he can just keep going for it, but he's clearly struggling a bit as well in the sense there, so it's a bit of a gambit there from Gentlefox, to be honest, or perhaps he's just really intent on seeing how far he can sort of push this strategy for perhaps, planning some modifications. Hard to say that. I mean, considering Breadmarsh's current force composition, two Ostwinds can work out, but it's still a bit risky. It's not necessarily what I'd recommend. At least I'll recommend either Stuart or Panzer IV to help those of the Stuarts just a bit. We'll of course have to see that. Meanwhile, though, Breadmarsh is taking advantage of this massive rout he pulled off against Gentlefox to just sweep across like a star-spangled tide. But there you go, Gentlefox striking hard for the west. Ostwinds, Pack 40s, Panzer Shreks, Panzergrenadier moving ahead. Their rifles setting up behind some mobile blitzes coming under fire. Ostwind moving up. The riflemen suppressed and sent running. And grabbing the point there as well. On the eastern side, we got the two Stuarts, Captain Rifle moving up. All quiet. Slight loss there, good hit from the Pack howitzer, just a regular barrage, no white phosphorus this time around from Breadmarsh. And there you go, we got the offensive going on. Ostwind, Panzergrenadier, Pioneer following up, and some more Panzergrenadier crossing the road. Shooting there at the anti-tank gun, but probably wants to deal with that Pack howitzer crew. And there you go, excellent hit, quickly slaughtering men, actually carrying it back and forth. Anti-tank gun shoots, good hit there again. White Austin moving through his well, anti-tank in actually a lot of trouble. Breadmarsh actually lifted in a rather exposed position. No immediate support, and again, no bazookas either really helping. In fact, the rest of the force moving up from north here, actually sort of again pulling off a really nice flank, even as Gentlefox is sort of breaching his lines. Clearing up the Pack 40 there, pretty quickly, paratroopers. I mean, really nice conducted assault there. Note he's not just sort of he's operating with them in the same area, but not quite so just rushing them through there. Getting the Pack 40, getting the MG42 as well, getting a bit of suppress there, but still. Ah, come on, Joe, hit it. Wow, there we go, got it. And we sort of now got Gentlefox starting back. He's actually called in Sect Artillery on the victory point. Oh dear, I think that might have been a misclick. That might have been a misclick. Oh no. He would have probably wanted to call in here on the fuel pump, and instead he ain't calling on the victory point. Wasted 200 munitions. Oh, poor Gentlefox. Still is doing plenty of damage elsewhere, so it's not all bad. Also, they're being pushed back. Panzergunners, they're being helped with rifle caps, taking heavy losses. Bazooka drop there for Gentlefox to turn against the grenades off as well. Trying to catch units there on retreat, not bad. Austrian there getting hunted down by the Stuart. Stuart was knocked out. Stun, there we go. Stun hit. Almost got it. Veteran G2. And can he do it? Yes, he got the Ostwind. With the Stuarts. MG42 there, Veteran G3 trying to deal with the troops. We've got the Ostwind there still doing damage. 13 kills. Moving ahead, quickly trying to get up a few hits there on the retreating Stuart. No, he moves in for another hit there. Another stun. Panzergunner moving up there. Panzerschrecks. Exposed the rear though to the Ostwind. Bit of a battle here. We've got the Panzergunner moving up. And we got more paratroops inbound here for Breadmarsh.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
There we go. Almost got the Stuart Veteran G2. He's got 2 Veteran G2 Stuarts. Absolutely unheard of. Ostwind down, but so is the Stuart. And we just got more paratroops arriving. Rushing forwards. Well, at least they haven't upgraded both Panzergrenadiers with Panzerschrecks. That's something. That was definitely some very good Stuart usage there by Breadmarsh. That is deserving of 2 thumbs up. And also just good flanking. Really good flanking. That's outstanding. Grabbing the Pack 40, rifle moving up here. Panzergrenadier Pioneers moving up. Quick descent running though, too much firepower there from Deutsches Infanterie for the riflemen to hold up. Ambulance away there for Breadmarsh. How many ambulances has he got actually? Is that his 3rd?
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Second paratrooper squad moving ahead there across the broken ground, past corpses of friends and foe alike. And Gentlefox goes for another Ostwind. His strategy is so deeply focused on the Ostwinds. And of course, while he might seem to then, of course, be sort of capable of some interesting strategies, he might also perhaps be a bit too sort of bound to them, not quite as much on adapting the strategies during the fighting then, which would be an interesting trait there. So they're taking a nice hit from the Pack 40. Back here, we actually do have take-up. You can soon get a Sherman. That's going to make things more difficult here for Gentlefox. And I think with definitely force we get a Pack 43 since if he keeps up with this current path. Oh, that is the 3rd Ostwind Flak Panzer. That is probably actually a Flak Panzer platoon. They didn't have a lot in each though. And one company of those wouldn't have exactly been big either for a Panzer division or any other group. Most anti-aircraft guns of the self-propelled kind were either mounted on trucks or half-tracks, and the vast majority would have been, well, the one you had to shift about yourself. Though they did also have flak guns actually mounted on trains, usually the bigger ones, though I do believe they primarily fought within the borders of Germany, alongside some of the rarer flaks, which the Germans really could maintain outside of Germany. Paratroops against suppressed, solidify raining down. Also moving up, dealing with the paratroops, good work. Bazooka there not been picked up there by anyone. Looks like they can't be bothered. Veteran 3 Pioneers, rifles running, Panzergunners moving up, closing in on Veteran 2 there. Bit of fighting there for the Eastern Point up north, troops reinforcing as well. Nothing further from Gentlefox. They've got another sector to the raid to try and break up Breadmarsh's attacks. Rifle there versus an MG42, nicely positioned, though a bit on his own. Stuart moving up with rifle support. We've got double Thompsons by the way there from Breadmarsh. Double Thompsons. And there go another sort of attempt at starting this kind of division that's been blocked a bit. Rifle getting caught in a lot of there. Need to retreat. Oh, no, I briefly looked like he was trying to go something there against the Pack 40, but didn't. Breadmarsh, they should be able to get the Sherman soon. Veteran 3 MG42 kicking the door into the church, setting up there. And up north, we got the Pioneers making their own move. Gentlefox is once more dominating sort of vital points. He's been getting a sniper now in move, but he's certainly been taking some losses. That is for sure there for Gentlefox. He's been taking quite a few losses. And so far he's only used a single sector, and that again I think might have been a misclick most tragically. Or spinning down the road. Gentlefox is on move. Looking for easy targets for prey to destroy in the name of Deutschland. And there you go, quick attack there. Panzergrenadier hiding about there. Bit of fun here in the oh, the pioneers aren't deeply outgunned here with the paratroopers. The Thompson submachine gun is just going to sweep away those pioneers in a matter of moments. And there we go, tactical assault. Almost wiping out the entire pioneer squad. Still, Breadmarshliveplace is denying a lot of the points here. At the moment, he's going to need to do something there, and again, a good flank could do a lot of damage. I mean, he were to go through here, hit Gentlefox from behind, could do a lot of damage. We've got the Sherman almost ready for Breadmarsh for America. And we actually got a hold down Ostwind. So rare to see anyone using hold down, but there we go, he's actually using it on his Ostwind, increasing its range, rate of fire, accuracy, armor. I mean, really, he just boosts them in so many ways. He just makes them, static targets. And there you go, Rifleman Days King bombarded with Ostwind fire. Pioneers about to get cut down, practically executed there by the far western strategic point, and there you go, Rifleman secured a kill there for America. Sherman rolling up here through the centre, high explosive rounds, Osman opens up, shot fired, managed to penetrate, Panzer Pack 40's opening up, and we got sniper there arriving for Germany. Patrick's flying off, more shots to this German, and oh! Wow. I think it's abandoned, but it's like, they just keep going. Okay, guys, we gotta make it back before we die, alright? I know it sucks, but,
We just lost a medium tank. Alright.
Straight out of Monty Python. Oh, probably not quite that.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And again, another Ostwind. I feel he might have gotten himself lots of bits much into his strategy. He's actually gone for double snipers. Wow. I mean, he's certainly determined. And it's just isn't working out, but... I mean, it's got its weaknesses. And, Breadmarsh does seem capable of spotting those weaknesses quite solidly. Somewhat. And there you go. Grab the bazooka on the rifleman, but taking heavy fire from the snipers. The less popular TV sequel to Saving Private Ryan, saving that bazooka. Trench is now being prepared. We can really see now Gentlefox is just beginning to really use his doctrine. He's clearly a bit desperate there. Perhaps realising he might have sort of, not perhaps quite made full use of the doctrine. There you go, Patrick hitting the Steward. Patrick in there. We got again flank. He's just moving in from behind. He's not just trying to break through the centre. And really well done. Through them against by the Osman, though, needs to pull back. And there you go, Panzergrenadier wiped out. Panzerschreck dropped actually, rapidly firing away, MG42, Ostwind just bombarding. Ostwind moving into it, lost its main gun, Patrick continue to get behind here, trying to do damage. And we got sector artillery down here, hitting the paratroops, no, or something, no, did he? Hard to say there, hard to say. Ostwind suppressing their machine gun fire. Packhardt firing at the Ostwind as well. And we got artillery raining down a bit too slow, Sherman flanking the Ostwind, doing a lot of damage there, or some damage. Rifleman hanging about there. More fire there, Pack 40's Panzergrenadier moving up, Rifleman supporting, heavy fire going all over the place, there you go, double Ostwind bombarding the Rifleman. Panzerschreck flying, Sherman's forced to fall back here. More Packhardt to fire, and there he goes, just bombarding, he's got the anti-tank moving up, he needs to, no, that was actually not that, oh, perhaps he just got cleared out by the snipers. Trying to repair there, while under fire, he needs to pull it back, Gentlefox. Look, Sook. Oh, God, the Ostwind there with the Pack howitzer. MG42, the firing from the wreckage of another Ostwind. There we go. Stewart repaired.
Looks like we're going in.
Setting up the other Ostwind then for hold down position getting repaired. Snipers hanging about there at the front trying to bleed up, but they expose themselves to quite a bit of fire. Their Ostwind opening up.
Our opponents are
Shoot past its own wreckage there. Well, the French wreckage. Moving through the centre again. Very likely defended.
Ready for orders.
Sherman being repaired there. Rearson supporting. Veterans defeat. Now this is really interesting. He actually shifts around the crews, getting the Sherman veterans too. Well done. There's so few people ought to consider those options, but there you go. Breadmarsh again, foraging ahead, making the most of the Americans. Well done then again, another flank there. Again, he's also attacked from the front, just sort of draw attention there, but allowing then the sort of more elite units to take advantage of the other units suffering at the front line. Well done there, cleaning up the Pack 40, making things easier for the tanks. More paratroopers in, they're also keeping other troops from reinforcing. MG42, they're firing away pointlessly at the front of the Shermans, still following up there. Also been taking damage. And there you go, paratroopers cleaning up anti-tank, and that was, oh good lord, a well-conducted flank there against Gentlefox. That is the stuff of legends almost. There we go, well done there by Breadmarshliveplace. There's some really nice flanking there against some reasonably strong, I think, defensive position there from Gentlefox. Breadmarshliveplace just resorted to just attacking head on, but he never did. And really well played by Breadmarshliveplace. It was an amazing game sort of from an American perspective. Just sort of flank after flank, harassment, strike, never getting bogged down in sort of heavy attritional fighting, just keeping movement, keep fighting here and there. And that means keeping Gentlefox a bit off guard there, doing damage, and overall just occasionally just pulling off some really excellent flanks with tanks and infantry. That was great stuff. Can't say that enough. Great stuff. Makes it all worth it. Gentlefox, I think, also went for some interesting moves again. He went for what I just called the Gentlefox start, and then sort of played in. But I mean, the Austrians were an interesting move, using defensive doctrine, interesting, sector 3, interesting. I just think he should have gone for something else besides the Austrians. I think just relying solely on the Austrians doesn't quite work, and I think, you know, that way you could also have Panzergrenadiers sort of finding infantry. The double snipers, I think, wasn't a bit too late there. I also think should have gone for more mines in the early game to connect his points there. But overall, interesting strategy again, but problem was just Breadmarshliveplace seemed to just have the perfect counter strategy for just pouring food, and Gentlefox never sort of tried to plug in the holes that way. Just kept sticking to his strategy no matter what. A Pack 43 might in fact have helped quite a bit there for Gentlefox. So a small consideration as well. I think overall very well played the game here between two players. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it. In particular, American players looking to sort of get something more out of it. I think Breadmarshliveplace here offers some very good tactics and strategies to sort of consider. So if you did like it, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone except your enemies. And if not, you know, provide comments as always, you know, feedback, and of course what you'd like and what you've done for that matter. And otherwise send in your own replays. If you do provide, you know, links where on the leaderboard, so some details, who you're fighting, who you are. Some players tend to neglect that, length of map and so on. I don't cover 3 versus 3s or 4 versus 4s and such and such. So there you go. Hope to see you all tomorrow. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers.